Tennessee Homestead. How the heck are you today? Hey, today I'm going to be talking about some stupid stuff that was on the news. It sounds like this week, and hasn't the briefing hasn't happened yet. Sounds like Donald Trump is going to bring this violence in the cities to a close. And rightfully so. People are getting killed. People are getting hurt. The Democratic leadership and these Democrat leadership in these cities are doing nothing about it. Police have their hands tied behind their back. It's time. Okay, it really is. And now we're going to hear about Trump's occupying armies and so forth, I'm sure. People are dying in these cities. Massive amounts of destruction, looting, pillaging, you name it, it's going on. You think the cities would go, thank you for the help. Yeah, any right-thinking individual would, but apparently not. So that's going to be the latest one coming out. I am glad to see that I guess a few cities have now jumped on the bandwagon. Seattle is one of them. I still think Jenny Durkin ought to go to jail. But they've got a recall underway on her and some council members. They have recalls in Boise, Idaho, and one other city, and I forget which one it was, but people are getting sick of it. Okay, they're getting sick of it. And the one in Boise, Idaho is kind of interesting because they're basically claiming that the mayor defrauded the people, the voters, by pretending that she was a moderate Democrat when indeed she was far left. They also went after a councilwoman pretty much for the same thing. So yeah, I'd like to see some of these people getting kicked out of office because they lied to the voters. It'd be a nice change, really. Nuts. Wow, it's like America. But, if he can get this violence under control and kind of squash out some of this nonsense that's going on, it could keep this country from erupting into a civil war. Because sides are forming up, folks. No joke. And I don't want to go into that too much detail because that's one of the things I found out. It's hard to talk about what's happening without making it look like, without naming names. And these guys don't need their names named. But, yeah, it was serious. It was getting serious. To the point that it would probably have disrupted free travel in this country. Let's hope we can diffuse it. They've been allowed to do some pretty stupid things out there. And a lot of people have been hurt. A lot of people have been killed. And this is America. This doesn't happen. What we also need to do is start viewing these communist, socialists as enemies of the state, whether it be your kid or not. Okay? That's the way they need to start being treated by Americans. You are an enemy of the state and you need to back off. Or we'll back you off. It's very simple. These children have been able to get in the streets in these democratically controlled cities and play havoc. And I think what needs to happen is Americans need to start standing up to it. It's coming to the point where I know down here, you virtually can't find anybody not carrying a gun. Everybody's armed up. And more likely than not, you approach their vehicle, try to stop their vehicle on an open road and try to surround it, you're probably going to be met with gunfire. People just aren't going to play it with you. We don't want to get to that point. And I don't want to see some young kid gunned down in the street because he's a communist. I really don't. Because I hope that as he grows older and his mind clicks in, and that's a funny thing, they even put out statistics showing that most people that really believe in socialism and communism, the mass majority of them, after they turn a little over 30, they realized how stupid they were being in their 20s. Yeah. I always said that. Your mind doesn't totally connect to you're over 30. And boy, the youth of today really backed that thought up. So, yeah, it looks like we're going to get some sort of official announcement this week out of the White House of actions that he's going to start taking if these cities don't bring them under control. The mere fact he's contemplating that may get these cities off their butts. Hard to say. Hard to say. You know, and this is all about election stuff. And I guess these cities will look at, oh, we can use that against Trump in the campaign of how he, marched in the National Guard to stop this or whatever. Really? Probably get a standing ovation from your residents. Portland, I don't know, man. Portland's always been so weird, Beautiful country, stupid people. Sorry. It's like, really? I know there's people who live on the outskirts of Portland and so forth who still have a brain. But most of the people living in Portland are pretty much brain dead. So anyway, this is going to be a very short one because I just wanted to tip you off to what's going on with that. That it looks like Donald Trump's planning to have a press conference over actions that are about to be taken in these cities. Really, if you're a Democrat, you should look in the mirror and say, why would it be necessary to save lives that the president has to come in and take control of the city to stop the bloodshed when we elected people to do just that? Why is that necessary? And the Democrat will be using that, as a campaign thing, I'm sure. It'll be Trump's invading army. I'm sure we're going to hear terms like, military takeovers. And, number one, I don't think he's going to plan to use the military. I think he's probably planning to use the National Guard and U.S. Marshals and things of that nature. But still, even if he did march in the military, if it stops the killing in these cities and stops the destruction and the vandalism and the theft, that's what needs to happen. You guys want to start a revolution? Form up, gather up your arms, and come start it. And we'll see how long this lasts. Okay? One, you're very much a minority. Most Americans do not feel the way you feel. And most Americans will fight, and fight hard, to protect this country. There's a lot of things about this country we're not crazy about. But you ain't taking over. Tell you that now. Black Lives Matter, you're not taking over. Tell you that right now. Because you, realistically, if you'll step back and look, don't even have the support of your own black communities. Because they're asking the same question the rest of us are. Really? Black Lives Matter. Institutionally and so forth, you got people going nuts out there. The deep state is in full swing heading into the campaign. They are in full swing. I was watching a video the other day that where a black man is looking at the Smithsonian African History Museum put out a list of things where stuff like hard work and respecting authority and all these different, I had a whole list of things, being on time. Those are all white man traits. He took a little offense with that. Okay? As I imagine most blacks would. The majority of blacks are good people. I've ran across absolute idiot white people, and I've run across absolute idiot black people. And they seem to be about the same percentage. There's idiots everywhere. But until the normals, and I'm seeing a lot of that out here with the black community of saying, y'all are nuts. This is not the way we feel, this is not the way we think. What's up with all that? I don't think there's a decent human being walking around who wouldn't tell you that Black Lives Matters. Okay? They do. Everybody thinks that. Nobody wants to see somebody unjustly killed or so forth. But we extrapolate that out to more than just the police and what, 9 people have been killed by police total, and some of those were justified. So I think if you take it down to the actual innocent blacks killed by police, that kid that was killed up, I think Toronto or whatever, Toledo, somewhere up there, you know, George Floyd. There was no reason for them to do what they did, you know, so he should have got off the guy's neck. Things of this nature. Okay, if you include those, take the ones who were either assaulting police officers or doing really dangerous stuff back toward the officers. They even had a protest up in Detroit with that one bozo that pulled a gun. Even he wasn't being arrested. Even his friend was, for killing 3 people. Triple homicide. Okay? He pulls the gun and starts shooting at the police. And they're up protesting because the police gunned him down like a dog. Well, they were in the middle of a gunfight, and that is what happens. To get out and protest. I'm sorry, if you're protesting, this kid who drew a gun and actually started firing at the police before the police returned any fire, by any state's laws, that was a justifiable shooting, period, end of quotation. Shut up. Just shut up. All right, only thing you're proving there is your ignorance. Now, he may have been somebody's son. All right, I'm sorry about that. Your son did a very, very stupid thing. You hate to see anybody get killed. But man, really? You got 7, 8 cops out there making an arrest? And you think you're going to pull a gun and it's all going to turn out well for you? Seriously? What do you think? Superman? Bullets bounce off? What? Ignorance. You know? Even if I was his family, most I'd say is I'm sorry he's dead, but that's all I got to say on the matter. What can you say about something like that? He was a good kid? No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. And on top of that, the first cop he was shooting at was another black. So you can't even really throw the race thing in there. He was going to kill a cop, period. Disgusting. That's where your ignorance begins to show through. When you're out protesting for something like that, you are a fool. And the problem with that is you take away from the people who are truly a victim of wrongful police work. Shame on you. But now we got to get a president to step in to stop violence in the city. Wow. That's disgusting. And if you're a Democrat, you need to step back, look in the mirror and go, man, what are we doing? Really? You know, what are we doing? Orange Man bad only goes so far. And actually, what he had accomplished with the economy before this COVID thing, all that, the man has done a good job. Done a good job. But nobody would even look at anything he had accomplished that was good, bringing jobs back into the country, getting minority workers to work, having jobs, lowest unemployment history for blacks ever. But he's bad. He's a Nazi. He's a racist. He's this. He's that. You're full of crap. Okay? You're full of crap. Now, I'll bet you there's some people that used to hang out with Joe Biden that could give you some real colorful statements that man's made, but he ain't going to talk. Okay? America. This is the country my friends died for. Yeah. I'd trade this country in for any one of them to be still walking around. Her sacrifice wasn't worth it. Not what I'm seeing today. You people need to get your heads out of your butts. You Democrats need to straighten your act up. You kids need to understand something. Communism, not good. Socialism never works. I don't care what these screaming liberals in these colleges told you. They lied. You want to believe everybody else is lying to you. The whole rest of the world's lying to you. The real history of the world's lying to you. But not your professors. Oh no. Really? Your professors also told you he was going to walk out of college into a $100,000 a year job. Has that happened? America, we got a long road to hoe here. And the fact our presidents have to do something like send in the National Guard and stuff to clean up the cities because the Democrats won't. What he needs to do is also grab them out of their offices and escort them out of the buildings so they don't come back in there. I'm sure he can come up with some kind of executive order and tell the people you need to have another election. This time get somebody in who will actually look out for your well-being. I mean, we run around in foreign countries trying to keep evil people from killing innocent people. And yet the Democrat, sitting in these big cities, in charge of these cities and states, where holy heck is broke loose, getting people killed. This is not a communist nation. Whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, get out. This is not a socialist nation. Whether you like it or not, it's not a socialist nation. It's a capitalist system. If you can't deal with that, get out. I don't want to pay for your health care. If you don't like that, get out. Thomas Jefferson said it best. I believe in freedom. But it doesn't pick my pocket or break my leg. Why should I care what you do? But you people are forever picking my pockets. And now you're trying to break my leg. Time for you to go. Yeah, I know I'm talking to somebody's kid. And you're probably going, oh, my kid. Yeah, your kid needs to go. Either grab him by the ear, do what you should have done earlier in their little life, smack them around real good, throw them in a chair and say, let me explain to you how this works. This is America. You are an American. For now. You keep acting the way you are, you won't be much longer. Because Americans are getting fed up. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.